The Elbow Room, 2002 Victorian Avenue in Sparks, is under fresh new management and is celebrating its year anniversary. A variety of entertainment and music. Free pool Sundays and Mondays, 4 until 8 p.m. Free darts always. Gaming, dice competitions and games, soups, snacks, and a cozy, friendly atmosphere for locals and visitors alike. Customer appreciation birthday parties last Saturday of every month. Holiday and special event parties. And if you're looking for a great place to hold a party or event of your own, look no further than the Elbow Room, 2002 Victorian Avenue in Sparks, 358-6700. Look up the Elbow Room on Facebook at the Elbow Room Bar.
To find out what's hot and happening, join Lady J for Smooth Jazz 2
Join me Saturdays, 10 to noon, here on America Matters.
Want to expand your advertising dollar? Sponsor this or any America Matters program by calling 775-827-8900, extension 2. Now, back to the show.
Back, friends. I'm Zach Hill, your co-host, and if you're just tuning in to join us, we have Christian from Rough Riders here this morning.
Morning.
And he's brought Haggard into the studio with him, who's hiding under the table. And we have Stephanie Brown. And a little bit later, we'll have Del Monroe from the Voodoo Cats back. Yeah. And, of course, our host of Business Connections with Anita, Anita Foster.
Thank you so much. We mentioned that if you would like to be a guest, you can do that. If you would want to email me to get more information, you can do that at anita@americamatters.us. And, Christian, we have a couple more things to talk about with you.
Yeah.
You've got some other adoptable dogs. We got Haggard in here, but who else is up? I saw a Sweet Pea.
Yeah, so we've got Sweet Pea and Smiley. They were the two dogs that we helped out with Marley's Mutts in Central Valley. And those were the two dogs that came in from Thailand. And they are super sweet dogs. Smiley is, from what we can tell, a Shiba Inu mix.
Oh,
and
interesting.
then Sweet Pea, it's hard to tell exactly what she is.
Yeah.
But they're great dogs, given what they've been through back in Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
They're well adjusted, they're house trained, of course they're fixed, up to date on vaccinations, and they would make great companion dogs for just about any family.
Mm-hmm. Now, dogs are also good for people that are struggling with, I want to say suicide. That's what this show's about today, death by suicide. How do dogs interact with owners that are struggling with that?
Well, dogs can be a great tool for people suffering from depression, anxiety, thoughts of suicide, either in a therapy dog, a trained therapy dog resource, or just a companion dog, a good dog that is just a pet, somebody who's, there by your side. And, a couple things that dogs do for us is, they feel our pain. So, studies have shown that they recognize facial expressions that form a strong social interaction. They force us to live in the here and the now. They don't dwell on the past, which is nice because that can help interrupt negative thoughts and behaviors that somebody may be having.
It can help depression too. Like if you don't want to get out of bed, you have to get up to go take your dog out.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, they get us moving. They require physical activity, and physical activity itself is shown to reduce depression, which is really nice. They're natural distressors. The mere act of petting a dog has really been found to reduce stress.
Mm-hmm.
They're entertaining, through the play. They provide us moments of levity, and they're just fun to watch and be around. They give us purpose, they make us feel needed, and of course they depend on us for food, shelter, medical care.
You know what the best part is, Christian?
What's that?
Is a dog will always give you unconditional love.
That's exactly it. That was my last point. It's love without limits. They love us unconditionally. They don't judge us. And, even dogs who have been neglected or abused can show a tremendous capacity for love once they find a, safe and caring home.
Yeah. I think it's all about that, when you change the environment and bring them in and take care of them and really show them that you got heart for them, they're faithful and loyal.
They're amazing, you
And
know.
always there for you.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to seeing more from you and get your dogs adopted.
I appreciate every little bit of help that your listeners provide.
Yeah, my listeners are great, Stephanie. They've helped us explode. This show used to be a half an hour, just to fill you in a little. It used to be a half an hour, went to an hour. Now we're crunching everybody into an hour. Now we're live on Facebook and YouTube. So we have that, and we're reaching the world. I get people from Germany.
That's awesome.
It is awesome, and we're so blessed to have you here today to talk to us about this serious problem that's taken our country over, especially in our teens.
Yes, unfortunately, it is the second leading cause of death for our kids 10 to 24.
10?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how sad. I didn't realize that the age was so young that we were at that point now, you know. I'm from the Midwest, where the statistics are a little bit higher for death by suicide, and I have lost classmates, and I had a grandparent that committed suicide. Life is hard. And not knowing where to get those resources can make a person feel very alone. And we have a contact number for a crisis center, right?
Yes, we do.
So I got it right here. It's 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. We just want to make sure folks out there have the correct number. If you know someone or a loved one that needs some help, they can get that at that phone number. Pretty soon we're going to have Dale in here in about 8 minutes to tell us a little story about their drummer Lars. So we're looking for, I don't know if looking forward to hearing that story is, but if it can change someone else and make someone not feel like they're the only one, that's the goal of today's show from my heart. Zach, what can you throw in here? We were talking earlier, and you learned a lot about Stephanie, and you got to, because I'm rolling along with my questions here, and you're my co-host, so help me out.
It's definitely a heavy subject, and I can definitely say it's something I've struggled with in the past. You know, and in those teenage years, for me, it was middle school. Was my dark time in life. And just growing up as a guy, we're always taught, be tough, don't show your emotions unless it's anger. That's the only thing that's acceptable. And it's like, you need to know that emotions are natural. It's something everybody feels, and if you don't, please go see a therapist, because that can lead to some serious problems on its own. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of resources out here. Stephanie, you were talking, there's 2 specialized facilities here in Reno designed to help with depression and mental issues and things along those lines.
Yeah, there are several resources depending on the severity of someone's depression or anxiety or whatever mental illness they're struggling with. But the main hospitals that take care of people in crisis are West Hills Hospital and Reno Behavioral Health Hospital. We like to also throw out there that emergency departments are equipped to handle somebody in crisis as well. But that's not really the preferred avenue. If you can get to one of the other places in crisis, that's probably best, because that's what they specialize in. Other than that, therapists, outpatient clinics, we do have, quite a bit of resources in Reno and Sparks. The rurals they struggle with access to services, but in Reno, there are people here to help.
Okay, but I'm scared to death because I don't know what's going to happen when I walk through those doors at one of those facilities. Are you allowed to talk about what process or...
Sure, I can speak generally to that.
Great.
Absolutely. There's an assessment process that occurs. So the main goal, and this is in the emergency room too, is to get the patient or the person safe. If they're wanting to hurt themselves or others, that would be considered a person in crisis, and they would need stabilization. And that's just keeping them safe until they can get to services that are going to be appropriate for them, case by case, depending on what they need. And it is scary because we don't talk about mental illness, and we don't talk about going to these hospitals, and we don't talk about suicide. So unfortunately, people are afraid of what they don't know, which is why it's very important that we have shows like yours, so thank you for having me.
Yes.
We need to educate and raise awareness about mental health because, I mean, it's a kind of a big topic right now, and it's a good thing because more and more people are learning the warning signs and what to do and who to turn to, and that's really important because not talking about it is the worst thing.
I have a quick question. Are there resources for people who have loved ones that they fear may be suicidal or be struggling with these types of mental illness? Not necessarily themselves, but, again, family members, friends, whatever that may be.
So my advice for people who are loved ones of someone who is in crisis is to get their loved ones stable in a place with professionals that can help them. I run across all kinds of people who think that they know what to do and say and that they're a psychiatrist or a therapist, and they're not. You need to get them to somebody who's trained that can help them so that they can get safe. Safety is the number one priority.
And Dr. Richard does behavioral health right here in Reno.
Yes,
so
he does.
He would be a great person to reach out to, too.
Yes.
I don't have his I'll leave his contact information on my website. I'll make sure it's on there.
Yeah, and also, I mean, people need to check their insurance and see who their preferred providers are. That's part of the process as well. But there are many therapists here in Reno.
Yeah, and I just seen Del Monroe from Voodoo Cats Band show up, so after the break we'll be bringing him on and hearing what he has to say. And then we're going to get into a little more of what our loved ones can, the signs, how can we help? Because sometimes we feel helpless when we see things going on.
Right.
And maybe cutting and heroin and all those alcoholism and things like that come into play that put you in that mindset too. We might touch on that because I've had some experiences with folks that have had problems like that, and we've seen them grow. Folks, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Bill Kendall. I've practiced law in Northern Nevada for over 25 years, and I specialize in representing injured people in their fights for just compensation and in representing parents in custody and visitation disputes. I've tried over 20 jury trials to verdict. I've arbitrated or mediated hundreds of personal injury cases on behalf of clients to successful conclusions, and I have personally handled every single case from start to finish. I am also a court-appointed mediator for the Washoe County Family Court Division, where I help parents negotiate custody and visitation plans. With me as your attorney, you can rest assured that your case will be handled competently and that I will be responsive to all of your needs and questions. My goal in every case is to have clients that are satisfied with the outcome of their case and who would recommend me to others. Give me a call at 775-324-6464 or visit my website, billkendalllaw.com. My number again is 775-324-6464.
The Delta and Bonanza Saloons in Virginia City are simply elegant. Imagine ascending the grand staircase and being surrounded by the Victorian elegance and grandeur of the historic banquet rooms. Original crystal chandeliers, mahogany bars, and oak dance floors highlight the eloquently appointed spaces. A truly romantic and unique setting for your wedding, banquets, or holiday parties. Detailed ceremony and menu planning ensures your special event is a memorable occasion. With just one call to Jesse at 775-847-0789, all of your arrangements will be handled by their experienced staff with your every expectation in mind, including cakes, flowers, photography, videography, music, and party amenities. Complete ceremony and reception packages are available as well as their famous themed weddings. Since 1865, the Delta and Bonanza Saloons guests have come from every state in the Union. Now it's your turn. No event is too large or too small. Let the Delta and Bonanza Saloons plan your next incredible event. Call Jesse at 775-847-0789.
Hi everybody, this is Sharon Oren and I'm here for Coffee with Sharon, the newest, hottest radio show at Northern Nevada. So why don't you join me on April 18th, 5 to 6. Remember, April 18th, 5 to 6 on my new weekly show when we're going to have everybody that is somebody and everybody that you didn't know was somebody joining me over here for a Coffee with Sharon, talking about Northern Nevada, our local politics, and what's happening in our little state. So tune in, April 18th, 5 p.m. I'll be here. Will you?
Opiates has taken everything and everyone I've ever loved away from me. Everything.
I blew my ankle out and I got prescribed pain pills by my doctor.
If making my detox public is gonna help somebody, I'm all for it. I just wish I would have had a warning.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth. A message from Truth, the Ad Council, and ONDCP.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now back to the show.
Welcome back, everybody. We're glad to have you here with us. I wanted to touch on David Michelson here real quick. They have a bowling event on April 20th at Gold Dust West in Carson City from 12 to 4. The cost is $20 per person. It includes 3 games, shoes, and a non-alcoholic beverage and a hot dog. So that helps him. And
it is an amazing deal.
It is an amazing deal. And they also have people that have extra eggs. So you can purchase eggs to also help him and Phil with their journey. I know that they got some switcheroo thing going on where Phil said, okay, I'll still be a donor. And they've found a 20-year-old that needs him because he has a rare blood type. And they have a 20-year-old kidney for David now. So things have kind of switched up a little bit, and we're glad that they're moving in a good direction. And we just as a community want to lift him up and help him out. So if you can get out there, I am going to plan on being there that night. So if you want to meet and greet me, I will be there at Gold Dust West in Carson City from 12 to 4. And Del, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for coming back
Welcome
on.
back.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit after my little group speaking thing I did for you guys over there in Sparks.
Yes.
And we talked about doing a show like this. And can you tell us a little background on why that was so passionate for you?
Well, you know, my great friend Lars Sirio, who's the drummer of the Voodoo Cats, you know, a couple years back committed suicide. And it was
it's
still,
okay, we have tissues.
So sorry, still very, very hard
it is
to
very
accept. You know, I guess I'm just trying to reach out there because it is such a rampant disease, I'm going to say, going on here and abroad. And it just seems like, you know, what do you do? There's real no answer. You know, you just don't know what's going through somebody's mind. But I can tell you this, there was a frequency, one of the greatest drummers on the planet, for one thing. Talent just immersed out of his body that was incredible. He just could play the drums, he could play guitar, he could sing. He had a lot of great talent. And so there's one edge of the stone that you're going, gosh, you know, when you've got, you know, the gold ring on your hand, you know, hey, you can get out there and experience life to the fullest and enjoy it. And so none of these thoughts of suicide or even possibilities of suicide were even part of that man's, you know, persona.
Mm-hmm.
And so as life continued on, you know, I noticed in the last couple of years, he, you know, a single father of a great son, Andrew Sirio, who is now in the military and is doing really well. And anyway, we go back to Pop Warner days. There was so much going on in our lives. You know, we shared our kids and our time together, and it was all important. So this, again, was the last thing on my mind. But I will say this, that last year, We got together, at least once, twice a week, either with kids or animals, something. We used to go down to the hub by the river, and we would go there with our dogs and have coffee outside in the spring and summer. Great fun. And there's that Dorinda's Chocolates next door. You get the coffee and the chocolate, buddy. It's all over with, right?
Good, right?
Life's real good, right? So that's the kind of time that we would share. And so again, you're not thinking suicide, nothing like that. But in that last year, we'd have conversation. My phone was open for him and his for me, vice versa, 24/7. If we ever needed to talk to somebody or something was going on, it didn't matter how late it was, whenever you could call. And that's how we were for each other. And I'll just say there was times where our conversation, we'd be talking about things and he would just get very adamant on an end result. Everything was final. There was a finalization in anything, whether it was a good or bad time. Well, that's going to be over with in no time, so it doesn't really matter. Let's move on to the next conversation. And this is kind of the frequency of our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I sometimes would leave his house and I'd go, now why'd he say that? I'd be driving home going, what the heck was that all about?
Right.
You're thinking in your mind, that's not him. What's he mean? It's over, that's done, or this is finished. So he was going through these thoughts way before the day it happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you call it psychic ability or whatever, but I was real concerned around that Christmas for some reason. I kept calling, we talked just that day before he did it that night. And so, and I was like, okay, buddy, we'll see you tomorrow. We got Christmas, everything, we're going to get together. It never happened. And it was just a devastating holiday for his family. God bless his sisters, his father, Mr. Serio, what a great man. His mother passed away a few years ago. So there was a lot of stuff going on, but anyway, I just got to express that, and he's not the only friend. I had another friend just last Christmas, did the same thing. His was a little more horrific. Well, no, they were both terrible. They took their lives in the worst possible ways.
Right.
There was not one better than the other. There never is. But it wasn't like a drug-induced situation where you fall asleep.
Right.
They took some pretty horrific measures to end their lives. And this is the part that I guess gets very interesting. Who are we? What are we thinking? We're in life. Life is living. Life is about life, not death, right? Mm-hmm. And if whatever your preferences and belief and your thoughts of life, if you believe in the Lord or not, it doesn't really matter. Life is that precious, right? Mm-hmm. And if you have the Lord, then you have something to gravitate to.
Right.
If you don't, then I don't know, whatever you got that's going, a tree or a rock or whatever, more power to you. Enjoy it. It is what it is. But I'm just saying, our every essence of breath of life is so precious. And then the people, the fallout, it just, come on, it just doesn't make sense. I'm still battling over this scenario that happened to Lars.
Stephanie, I'm going to bring you back on. How could, in a situation like this, how can we key in on more signs so that we know how to get help for folks that are close to us?
It's so hard because it's not just one thing. And I really appreciate your story because it's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault. And you said you talked to him that day. And you were listening and being a friend, and that's all really we can do unless we have more information.
Mm-hmm.
And if we have verbal cues, like somebody saying that they want to end their life, like a direct comment about not being here tomorrow or wanting to take their life, that's a little bit, that's not a little bit. That is a big warning sign, and that's when we need to intervene. Other than that, there are several factors that go into this. There's depression, there's anxiety, other mental illnesses, schizophrenia, possibly. You had mentioned earlier cutting and heroin use, and substance abuse is definitely a warning sign. Increased substance abuse. Also, somebody who is isolating not interested in doing activities that they once enjoyed. Finalization, lot of talk about maybe giving away their prized possessions. But that doesn't mean somebody's actually going to take their life, but we want to try to get them directed to some help with with that type of language.
I know teens struggle with putting names on their emotions now because of social media. I learned this through Joshua Knutson, who was a guest on this show, and he is affiliated with a church. He's a pastor for the youth. And he was talking about this, how that they really struggle about, is this really the end of the world, or is this just this, and we need to deal with that. And then
perspective.
Yeah, the perspective is crazy. How can we help our teens? Just by listening, doing. I understand, like, if you're a parent. I'm not a parent, so this is a whole thing I don't know about. But I have nephews. And I have lots of people in my life, and just taking them for a walk can help them open up.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to say, is that just being there. I started out with teaching youth suicide prevention and early on, and one of the things that is the simplest thing is to just listen and just be there and just hug your child. And it's so simple, we don't think to say it, but honestly, like, just to feel loved and supported is huge. Kids and adults need a safe place to land, right?
Yeah.
You need to have that support, and it sounds like you were a wonderful support for your friend. And it's not anyone's fault, ever. People who take their lives are not selfish. They are in a lot of pain, and they just cannot handle the pain anymore. And if we can notice the pain and get them to resources, that's awesome. If we don't notice it, that's why teaching warning signs and raising awareness is so important, so that everybody gets on the same page with what language to look out for and what to do and what the resources are.
Yeah, very important. If there's anyone out there that has a loved one that is struggling, we have a crisis center number. That number is 800-273-8255. And that number again is 800-273-8255. And we're going to continue on with the show after the break. And I can't thank you enough for sharing your story, Dale. I know it was very hard to do, but I think that folks need to hear sincerity in your voice to understand how serious it is. And we'll be right back after a word from our station sponsors.
Old Tales of Nevada, Past and Present, a TV show that tells the story of Nevada's past, present, and future. Whether it's people, places, things, or events, we cover it all on Old Tales of Nevada, Past and Present. Why do we do it? To bring pride to those who live in this great, historic, important state of Nevada. Old Tales of Nevada, Past and Present. Watch every Sunday at 7 a.m. on the CW Network, Spectrum Channel 12 and 695, DirecTV Channel 9, and Channel 8.3 off air. Till then, have a great Nevada day.
Destination Midtown. Experience the difference. Reno's premier shopping extravaganza. Everything imaginable and more. Midtown matters. Get down to Midtown.
Hello, mates. James Bond 007 here from Scotland Yard Spy Shop, where you're educated and fully operative. Training for your security devices and spy needs. Ring Dave, Scotland Yard Spy Shop, 775-323-3232.
Midtown Reno. Experience the difference. Get down to Midtown. Midtown matters.
Can your own stem cells heal you? The miracle of life begins when an egg and a sperm unite. They form a single stem cell. Stem cells will keep dividing until directed by the body to become something else. Natural occurring stem cells can be found in all tissues of your body. Can your own stem cells help your body heal and repair itself? Find out more by calling Dr. Dan Royal at 702-562-1454. Dr. Royal has developed a unique patent-pending process for obtaining stem cells from your own blood. Stem cells can be concentrated, prepared, and delivered to areas where you need them most to repair old, damaged, and dying cells. Can your own stem cells help your body heal and repair itself? Are you a cancer patient in remission who needs rejuvenation for optimal health and wellness? Find out more by calling Dr. Dan Royal at 702-562-1454. Don't wait, call today. That number again is 702-562-1454.
Wainema Ranch Wild Horse Sanctuary, a preserve dedicated to keeping America's wild mustangs and burros running free. Wainema Ranch, 29 miles north of Reno near Hallelujah Junction. An amazing site to visit. Over 130 of God's majestic animals at home on the range. Experience the beauty and wonder. Give at WaiNemaRanch.com. That's WYNEMA Ranch.com or call 775-384-4444. Wainema Ranch.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station, the power of radio since 1967.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
Welcome back, friends. If you're just tuning in with us, we have Christian from Rough Riders here with Haggard, his dog pal down here. He's an awesome dog, as you can see, and he needs a forever home. So if you want to take a look at Haggard, he's on your website, right, Christian?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, that's roughriders.org. And we have Del Monroe from Voodoo Cats. Thank you for coming in and sharing your story. And I understand you have a friend in New Orleans.
I do. Cindy Cameron. Hey there, Cindy. Cindy Starring is her name. So today. And hey, Cindy, we want to say hey to you and rock and roll there, young lady.
We thank you so much, Cindy, for joining us. And Stephanie, you have an event coming up that we want to make sure that we get people to. There's a sign up. It's a walk, right?
Yes, it's through the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. It's called Out of the Darkness, Walk to Fight Suicide. It is on April 27th at the Sparks Marina at 10 a.m. The website is afsp.org/Reno, and that's where you go to register for that. It's not required to pay or fundraise, but you're encouraged to fundraise. It's a very important event because all the proceeds go to education, advocacy, and just raising awareness. So research, that's the most important thing I can think of.
Research is very important.
Research is the most important. And half of the money stays in Nevada, half of the money goes to the national funds for the research, which again is key.
Yeah, and I saw just here a post the other day that said that we've doubled in the death by suicide just in the last few years, just since what was it, 2014 or 7 something.
I think your article said 2007. Yeah. For youth, but we've had this problem with youth suicide, and I was listening to what you were saying earlier about you had alluded to it's like newer, but we've always had this problem. It's just that we weren't talking about it. So that's the main difference. And yes, it is increasing, unfortunately. In Nevada, we're number 11 out of all the states.
Wow. Yeah, we need to make sure that we have more awareness going on. We really do. So if we can get out there and support walk, I'm not sure I can get out there, but I have folks that are willing to, and they live right around that area, and I'll make sure they know about that walk, and we'll get you as much help as we can.
That would be wonderful. And if you go to that website, my contact information is there, and just email me, and I'm going to be having a volunteer meeting the week of the walk, so we can all get together. And also, dogs are welcome. Leash dogs, yeah.
Leash dogs are welcome.
I wanted to make a point of saying that because I get that question on a daily basis. So.
Yay. We're glad to hear that you can bring your pal along.
Most definitely.
With the unconditional love.
Yeah, they'll help.
Yeah. I don't know if Hagrid would have the energy to walk around the marina.
Maybe one of our other dogs.
So actually, I do want to mention the marina is going to be under construction, so we'll be walking like halfway and then coming back. Yeah. But the point is to gather and feel supported by the community and have that healing and hope for each other, and everyone who's gone through something like as tragic as losing someone to suicide is feeling very alone, and you're not alone because it's unfortunately very common. So it's an opportunity for our community to really gather and support one another.
I lost my dad to lung cancer. It'll be 3 years this fall. But in that process, I got myself involved with a bereavement group because after a while, nobody wants to hear you anymore. Okay, they think you should be over it, and they think you should move on, but it isn't that easy when you watch someone take their last breath, okay? And it didn't happen just once, it's happened twice here in the last 3 years, and but that bereavement group has really helped me. I don't always post on there or anything, but I read other people's stuff, and I help encourage them. Because I've already, I've kind of already dealt with most of it. I'm at the ends of, okay, we got to move on now. I'm releasing some stuff. I have some unforgiveness, I have to say, that I'm struggling with, that I'm, and these things can really play on your mind and make you feel crazy. Because people like to make you feel crazy sometimes, but you're not.
This is true.
Well, it is true. You can go to work, you can get bullied. We don't know what's going on. It doesn't stop. As a kid, I've been bullied in the workplace, and that also is another show I think I'm going to do, is bullying, because it really makes me angry. It really does, because no one deserves that. We're all human beings. We're supposed to love each other and help each other. And when the other one's struggling, we're supposed to be that soldier that comes by you and grabs your arm and lifts you up and helps you through stuff.
And unfortunately, not everyone is capable of doing that.
I understand.
That's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. But if I can be one person that changes the world, I want to be that person. If I can save one life, or help one person, that's what I want to do.
That's my attitude too.
Yeah, I'm glad we share that. This show has been amazing. We've learned a lot. I know that we're going to do something a little different today. In honor of Dell's drummer, Lars, we're going to be ending the show with a song that they did together called That Girl.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to give you, first of all, I want to say thank you to all my people here today.
Thank you.
For joining me and putting up with all my fumbling. And everybody out there listening already knows how Anita is, and they accept me and love me and spread my wings with me. So, but we want to give you a chance to tell us a little background of, we got about 3 minutes to tell about this song and how it came about. And
okay, I will throw that out there. Paul and I normally work on these songs and kind of get the core of them together, and then we introduce them to the rhythm section, and then it moves into its next phase.
And before you go on,
yes,
we better mention all the band members.
Okay, well, Scott Hudson is on bass on that track, and Lars Sirio on that track. And we now have just acquired a new drummer, Brock Slocum from Carson City.
Awesome.
And oh God, he's what a great, passionate, wonderful human being, and Scott as well. They're both just wonderful people. So we're real excited about the new carnation of the Voodoo Cats. So being that said, this song came together. It's got a really good punk beat to it. It's just got its own. It's short and sweet, and it's about that love in your life that you love so much. You want to take her down the aisle, right?
Right.
She's that girl.
I see. Well, I tell you, I'm blessed to have known Paul for a long time. Even we were acquaintances back when I was young.
Yes.
And that's how we met through. Well, he said that you said that I had a great show. So you must have listened in or something before.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And I thank you for that compliment.
You're welcome.
And I really treasure your friendship, Dale.
Same back at you. Thank you very much.
And I look forward to helping the band any way I can. And
Nice.
I can't thank you enough for sharing your struggle with this topic that we had today, suicide awareness. Hopefully we'll be doing more of that in the future.
I hope so.
And maybe quarterly or something, and have folks back on to talk about where we're at now. And the research is important. Get out there and walk with Stephanie's organization. Can you throw out that website real quick again?
Yes, it's afsp.org, afsp.org/Reno.
Great. And I just want you out there, Facebook, YouTube, radio friends, you are the best part of my week, and I look forward to talking to you every time. It's really deep in my soul to do so. And so today we're going to give tribute to Lars, and we're going to be taking you out with That Girl. And as soon as I get the okay to do that, we're going to go ahead and start here. afdesigns.online, and you can see more about me there. I'll have the podcast available later. You can see us on YouTube. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and here we go. Thanks, everybody.